Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Master Visionary episode of From Stress to Success, the program that is setting people free from the hostage situation in life and changing their lives. I'm going to talk today about the 0 to 10, A to Z situation of what happens that begins what I refer to as a hostage situation in life that many people aren't even aware of, though a lot are, how it happens, and what can be done about it. So here's what to think, or ask yourself. Is life the way I expected? Is life something that I wake up to each day looking forward to? Is life something that is giving me new experiences and new outcomes where I'm enjoying learning and doing and having more? Or is life kind of the same? Is it the routine, mundane cycle? Now, the vast majority of people are going to answer the latter, that it's not something you wake up to every day looking forward to it, that it's not something that is inspiring and really motivating you to want more, meaning of these experiences. So the first question I really want people to ponder is, why are we here? Have you thought about that? You probably have asked it somewhere along the line, right? Why are we here? What the hell is life all about, really? Well, I like short, simple answers that are concise and to the point. The answer is experience. We're here to have physical experiences. Now, notice I didn't say good, positive, or healthy. Experiences. Sometimes there'll be challenges. Sometimes there'd be adversity. Sometimes there'll be what you call trauma, because it's all perception, okay? No matter what your outcome is, it's based on your perception of it. So, what we are actually dealing with here is a repetition of habits. There's something I want to mention, though, before we go on. You may be watching this on my YouTube channel. You may be watching this on Facebook. You may be watching this somewhere else online. But the place to watch it, where you can interact, make a comment, or ask your own questions, is mastervisionary.com/live. Okay? So come on over, join me at mastervisionary.com/live. And this way, I'll be able to see you here. We can interact. You can make comments or ask me questions. And if you don't want it to be personal, just tell me, I have a friend who's experiencing something, and we'll address it. Okay? So in this time we have, let's see if I can help you out. So go ahead and just click the button below the video and join me here in Zoom. Okay. So what happens in the beginning? We're born. I want you to imagine when you're born, you're like a computer. We have conscious thinking, but not until we're 7 years old, about 7 years old. Okay. So what forms us? What forms our personal reality? It's your personality. How is your personality formed? Influence. Up until the time we're about 7, all the influences are coming from other people. Our culture, well, first our family, the culture, maybe religion, society, and wherever you live in the world, it's going to be different. It'll be similar in many ways, but it could be very, very, very different. So here we are being directed, and I want you to be honest. Now, I have very, very loving parents. However, they were two people who also didn't know what they didn't know, who only learned what they learned, and they can only share with us what they know. So when we say, well, because my parents told me, or because, it's what my dad said I should do, or my mother said, eh, wrong answer. Okay. The answer is whatever you feel is the truth. But we can't get there yet. So now we've got, say, 7 years of what other people thought, what other people said. Now couple that with the perception from the child's point of view with no experience. Good morning, Tim Barlin. Good morning. So now you have no experience, and yet you're coming to conclusions as you're living your life, watching these older people and these people who are supposed to know everything, and they must know, they must be right. No, we don't know that if our teacher or our parents or our relatives were knuckleheads. I like to say we're all knuckleheads from somewhere with greatness within. Okay? Who really knows? Nobody. Nobody really knows everything that's right for you. Only you will know. But yet, we're still up to 7 now. So we get to that point. Now, we have to either address this stuff at a certain time as we get older, or we become victim to it. What holds us hostage is between our ears. What holds us hostage, what creates the misery of limitations, what creates the misery of a mundane, routine existence, not living, existing, is between your ears, and it's called your past. So our past holds our present hostage. It limits us. And there's a good reason why. All of us know this, what I'm about to share. We have a thought, we have a reason, we have an action that we intend. And we say the road to hell is paved with good intentions, because those are conscious thoughts, conscious desires, and the only way you know to go about it is with conscious effort. Okay. Unfortunately, conscious thinking in the brain is not running the show. What's running the show is the hard drive. So the keyboard is your conscious thinking mind. We type these commands. I'm going to eat right. I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to eat less. Error. The command that is a true desire, that will truly benefit you, that you've become aware of over time, is going to be the better thing for you, unfortunately, is not compatible with the information on the hard drive. You see? So here we are, wired through chemical reactions, through neurological processes, and through everything that's running the show, but managed at a subconscious level. Okay? So typing the command isn't what's going to change the information on the hard drive. But the hard drive will do whatever you ask of it when you know how to access it. I remember once an IT guy came to my house back in New Hampshire, and when he opened up my computer, I said, I have never seen Windows like this. I don't know what you're doing. He goes, if you ever see this stuff, you call me. You shouldn't be in here. So he knew how to get in there, how to access the hard drive in order to clear out some of the programming that was causing problems or was old. You see, some of the programming we have served us. Baby bottles, sippy cups, diapers, have your hand held across the street and someone cut your food with a sharp knife. But over time, we don't need all of this. Some of it we just let go of, but it doesn't mean it isn't still stored. But unfortunately, if somebody had still cut your meat for the next 5 to 10 years, you'd be waiting for someone to cut your meat as a 30, 40-year-old adult. So what we're looking for here is to change the 90 to 95% that's running the show, which is habit. So these habits are formed by doing something enough times, not so much physically, even by thinking something. We have thought habits and we have behavioral habits. So these habits are reinforced and reinforced and reinforced until it's unconscious and you say, well, I could do that in my sleep. I could do that with my eyes closed. Mm. So imagine 90 to 95% of habit, thought processing habits. Something comes up and you start thinking about it, and you'll think about it the same way you did before. Something is said, you'll come up with a reaction and you'll say something, and people say, "You say that every single time this comes up." You go, "No, I don't." People say, "Yeah, you do." And you don't even know it. You're not even aware you're hostage, but other people see it. So every single process we have, the way we think, the way we talk, the way we emotionally react, is all stored and ready to be reactivated. So until we learn the processes, until we learn the ways that we get into the subconscious, how to interact with it, how to direct it, and become the co-creator of the life you were meant to be, and to have this feeling of being the architect of your life, well, it can't happen. Nothing can change. This is how your past holds your present hostage, even when you quote unquote know better. We do things and we know better. And instead of getting mad at yourself and upset, laugh at it and say, boy, maybe Nicoli knows what the hell he's talking about. These habits are something else. I can't believe I said that again. I can't believe I reacted like that again. I mean, God, people who are 50, 60 years old, 70 years old, they're saying, I acted like I was 10. I know. So, how do we go about this? Well, we go about it the same way an arrow finds its destination. We go about it the same way you throw something. We go about it the same way most things are able to take off. That's by stepping back. So, 2 steps back for 5 steps forward. Think about this principle here. It's very natural. And that's the other part. We need to get away from what other people are saying, what other people tell us we're supposed to do, what other people think is best for us. They should mind their own spiritual business and leave us alone and let us find our way. Though we want some guidance, we want some advice or suggestions, but always process it and filter it and come up with your own decision. Even when I'm coaching people, I tell them, look, you don't do everything I say. You listen to what I'm saying, process it, filter it, and then tell me how you feel about it, if it's something that you feel is right or not. And then we'll discuss that. So nobody knows what's best for all of us. Nobody. Now, maybe you have a question that you want to send in here. Come on over to mastervisionary.com/live. Click the link to join the Zoom call right there under the video. Ask me any question. Where are you stuck? Where are you feeling limited? What's not changing? Something just popped into my mind. I want to address it. When I talk to most people about this, they come up with excuses. Now, here's why, okay? I want you to give yourself a break. When we get defensive and we start to rationalize and justify, those are excuses. Well, here's why. It's an excuse. And I say reasons are just excuses more attractive to be more easily accepted. So the excuse is because there's something called an ego. And when our ego gets bruised, we defend. But this is denial. We want to be open and honest and realize you're not being attacked. You're not being, attacked. That's the only word I have. This is just information to get you to think a little bit. So maybe you can start stepping back to change your perception and your viewpoint in order to finish better than you started. Life is like a race, but it's not a race. But it's like a race where you want to finish better than you started. So it doesn't matter how you began this thing called life. It doesn't matter where you began. It doesn't matter, how far behind the 8 ball you were, as they say. It doesn't matter about your limitations. All that matters is from now on. The only way change happens is to be honest and open. So instead of judging yourself or feeling judged and attacked, realize that it's just time for an assessment. It's time to ask yourself, am I doing what I'm here for? And that is to experience as much as I can and to tap into what I really am, called my potential or my abilities or these skills, just waiting for you to kind of release them. Are you really living this way? Are you able to sit in a conversation and have something interesting to say because of something you did or something you read or something you participated in or somewhere you went? So here's the excuse. I haven't forgotten. Well, you don't understand, Tom. My situation means I have to do this job and I can't quit the job. I can't leave it. Yeah, I get that. But there's time where you could also learn how to transition into something. Or there's time that you can use to create some little side hustle that's a complementary income stream. There are always reasons to do the things you want to do, and there'll always be reasons to not do them. You need to make a choice. You need to make a choice as to whether or not I'm going to use all of my creativity, my energy, which are my thoughts and feelings, and my time to stay stuck and shackled as a hostage by what's between my ears, living the same way. Or am I going to be open and honest saying, it's not working? And I'm open to hearing what may. Why wouldn't everybody choose the latter? Here's why. People do what's familiar, not what's right. Back to the 90, 95%. People keep doing what's familiar and they call it comfortable. They say, well, it's my comfort zone. No, your comfort zone, and you've probably seen this, as a circle and it says comfort zone inside, but outside it has the word life. Life is happening outside your comfort zone. As long as you want to be comfortable, that's being complacent. That's being satisfied. That's being limited. Now, if you have a life that you enjoy, and it is routine and mundane and comfortable, but you enjoy it, and it's truly healthy for you, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, and mentally, by all means, keep doing it. Not everybody wants the same thing. Some people, a nice, small, little living facility off the grid, running water that they can get every morning from the stream, and they're happy. If you're happy, truly happy, you wake up happy, you lie in bed, content, fulfilled, happy. Fulfilled is the key word here. Not so much satisfied and content, but fulfilled. Then you keep doing what you're doing, please, because you found your way. But that isn't most people at all, is it? I mean, I've even coached people who are millionaires, but they're miserable. So it isn't about how much you can get, how much you have, how much you earn. How happy are you? How fulfilled are you? Are you serving a purpose? Are you passionate? Are you excited? Do you live, explosively expressed? Or, it was all right. It's a good day. Okay, so here we are feeling comfortable, thinking that it's a good thing. No, it's not. Think of feeling comfortable or in that familiar place as becoming numb. We become conditioned and we become numb. So here's the problem. And this is a phrase that I use myself, and it helps a lot. And that's be comfortable feeling uncomfortable, or get comfortable feeling uncomfortable. Because the things that we do that are out of our comfort zone are going to feel uncomfortable, meaning different. Here's an exercise. You ready? Let's do this. Put your hands together like you normally would, with your thumbs clasped and all your fingers clasped. Okay? Feels familiar. That feels pretty comfortable. Now, Do this, and don't change until I ask you. Reverse your thumbs. Whoop, bring it in the camera. Ping. See, I had my thumbs like this. Now change your thumbs, and notice how uncomfortable it is, but I want you to keep them like that and rest them in your lap. Okay? Just rest them in your lap like that. Now, I'd like you to just add the numbers in your head, 5 plus 5. If you want to say it out loud, go ahead. 5 plus 5, right? 2 times 5. 2 plus 8. 7 plus 3. If you went to school, you probably got 10 as an answer each time, right? Now it's 10 plus 10 plus 10. 30. Now 30 minus 10. 20. Okay. All that means nothing. But now check out the way your hands feel. And notice that already they feel a little bit more comfortable. Already they don't feel as uncomfortable when the change first happened. See, here's the thing. Most people avoid the most natural thing that's happening in milliseconds constantly, and that's change. So to resist change is resisting life. To resist change is resisting new, different, improved, better, enhanced. If you want a bigger house, there's going to be a change. If you want a partner that's your soulmate, there must be a change. If you want to earn more income, more money, there's got to be a change. So in order for anything to change, there must be change. It's the silliest thing, right? So when change happens, it's going to create something different. But there's a time in life, and it's different for everybody, when change is what we were seeking because it was natural. We had yet to be conditioned to become numb, shackled, and hostage. Did you ever want to stay in 3rd grade or 5th grade or 7th grade? Did you think you were punished if you were held back? Did you ever get to 1 grade and go, you know what? This is comfortable. I like it. I know the routine. I'm going to stay here. No, it was unnatural. You would never have that thought. So it goes against everything that you're meant to be. Be comfortable feeling uncomfortable, because the uncomfortable feeling is temporary. You see, all those habits that got in the way and all those habits that created this hostage situation, all of those neural pathways and chemical reactions and all these stored memories in our tissues and in our body, in our consciousness, they were all formed through repetition. So how do we create new habits? Through repetition. So the beauty is there's only a little bit of conscious effort for a little bit of time. And that conscious effort happens when we're honest in order to be aware, and we are supporting ourselves rather than judging and condemning, which is just stupid. Have high standards, but do not be your worst critic. Be your best supporter. And then we take actions, learning the tools, the techniques, and the processes that are very easy to apply. That's the other part. There's no heavy lifting. There's no force. There's no grinding. There's no pressure. There's no stress at all. That's in the unnatural way of living. So we use natural, comfortable processes that in here is understood, that is comfortable to self. And they're very, very powerful. They change brain chemistry. They change neural patterns. They can change your health. We know through epigenetics and psychoneuroimmunology. Even I have applied these techniques and changed the paralysis that I had in my face. The whole left side of my face was paralyzed. Left arm was paralyzed. I couldn't talk. I couldn't talk at all. It was incredibly difficult. But over time, I applied the principles and I healed in ways that it wasn't expected medically. So I understand how this all works because I apply it. Why wouldn't I, right? So I'm curious, what do you feel is holding you back? Or in what part of your life do you feel most held back, most limited? And here's the other problem. We're only taught force and pressure, stress and tension. It doesn't work that way. You know, I was taught like most people, work hard. I think of that like being a salmon in the river going upstream, that you work against the current and you have to work harder. You have to fight, push, and exhaust yourself and stress constantly. No, it's all unnatural, and it's going to cause illness, disease, and misery, unhappiness, frustration, and limitation. It's not what you're here for at all. Not at all. Remember, you're one of those babies in the maternity ward. You are worthy, you are deserving, you are capable, and it's all just waiting for you. So it isn't about the force, the stress, the pressure. It's about learning how to turn your boat around and go down the river in the current. But even when you're going down the river with the current assisting you, you still have to watch out for the rocks and the fallen trees and the shallow water. And you might get tossed around a little bit in the white water and the rapids, but it's again how you perceive and approach everything. So challenge and adversity is embraced. To be comfortable feeling uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable getting soaking wet. It's uncomfortable getting tossed around like this. It's uncomfortable thinking I'm going to get thrown off onto the rocks. Well, I'm going to teach you a little bit on how to start getting comfortable in order to get down the stream in the current. And I'm going to do that right after this commercial break.
Are you a CEO or an executive suffering from unbearable stress? Do you feel like you're burning out and your leadership skills are suffering? There's good news. You're only 12 weeks away from turning it all around. The Master Visionary Coaching Program gives you all the resources to do so with less effort than it takes to load your groceries into your car. The Master Visionary Coaching Program is by application only. Apply now at mastervisionary.com.
All right, we're back. Seriously, folks, go ahead and apply now. Let's shake things up. Let's get you onto the path you were meant to be on. And the reason why it says apply now is because you need to apply just a short questionnaire to find out if this is really right for you, to find out if it's the time and if we're a good fit. But even if it's not me, please find someone to start making a change. But I assure you, from stress to success in this Master Visionary program will change your life the way it is for other people. So let me get back to what do we do now that I've explained your hostage situation? Even if you don't think so, if there aren't new experiences, if there isn't anything new let me stop right there. I was going to say anything new to talk about. How many times have you been to a restaurant and you know the married couples around you? And you know who's dating? How do we know? The married couples, and this is really sad, sometimes say nothing. Nothing the whole time they're at the dinner. No conversation, because they've had it all. The ones who are dating, lots of conversation, right? Right. So in order to keep a relationship fresh, and the one you want to keep fresh and work on first is the one with yourself, is we have new things to talk about. But if nothing new is happening, you haven't read a book, you haven't met any new people, you haven't had any new conversations, you haven't learned any new information, you haven't done anything new or different. What the hell are we waking up to and for? We're not here to exist. We're not here to survive. We're here to thrive. What is living? Living is not waking, doing, sleeping, and rinse and repeat. That's not living. That's existing. But if you think that's wonderful and you're actually happy with that, do it. You should do whatever makes you happy as long as there's no harm or ill intent to other people. So it's what's between our ears that created the hostage situation. It's what's on the hard drive that everybody else put there, and you have not gone there. Like when people say, oh, I don't go there. I'm like, yeah, I know. That's why things are a mess. But your mind blocks you from going there, because why would you go there? Meaning where you think and feel in quiet moments if you didn't know what to do and it was just frustrating. Most people, what they do is they just ponder and they repeat and go over everything that's keeping them stuck. Now we're just reinforcing what we don't want. So let me share a couple of things that will start releasing you. Okay? The word don't. There's your first part right there. This is in no specific order, but these few things are at the top of the list. Start speaking and thinking in do language. Here's why. When you think about and talk about what you don't want, you get it. As silly as it sounds, and here's how it works. Ready? Don't. Everybody listening now, don't think of a giraffe. And now don't think of a rhinoceros. Out of 100 people, I'd be willing to bet everything I have that 90%, 90 out of 100 at least thought of a giraffe and then a rhinoceros. You see, your mind has to see what you're looking to dismiss before it can dismiss it. But once it sees it, it's not dismissed, it's reinforced. I don't want to be fat. I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be unhappy. I don't want to be miserable, and I don't want to be embarrassed, and I don't. Okay, now tell me what you want. Oh, I just told you. No, you told me everything you don't want, and your mind said, your wish is my command. You see? So not only have we been programmed incorrectly or not on our own path, we thought we learned a strategy to stop all that when it was actually reinforcing it all. Damn, right? So when you speak in do language and you think about do, you'll see all different pictures. And your mind says, your wish is my command. How do I want my day to go? How do I want to feel? What do I want to have available to me in the way of options and opportunity? And the only limit is what you place on it. The only limit is what you place on it. So, do language. Now, the other part, while you're doing this, as a reminder now, is to be fair to yourself and support yourself. So when you think or say, I don't want to, you go, damn, there it is again. No. Say, oh, there's that habit. And then just reframe it and say what you do want or think what you do want. Your wish is my command. Ask and you'll receive. The answers are within. This is the deal. This stuff isn't written about because it's just silly dialogue. So do language. Think and speak in do language. State your case in the positive. Here's the next one. Question your beliefs. Let's look at a belief for a moment. A belief is information. It's something you just accepted without any research, facts, or proof. No proof. Belief systems are based on faith, right? Faith meaning I just accept it. Okay. So I was taught you put in a good day's work, you get a good day's pay. I believe that. Believed. I still believe it, but not the same way, because what it meant at the time was work hard. You work. Well, I've learned that working could be writing an email. Working could be sitting in front of this camera sharing some fantastic information with people who I hope apply it and start changing their lives. So I don't consider this work, because work to me was manual labor, or work to me is something that's mundane, maybe going over statistics for hours. Oh, to me, that's work. But when you're doing something you enjoy, you're doing something that's casual and fun and easy, I really can't consider that work. I just call it application. So I've learned that a lot of the beliefs that I had were not my beliefs. I've heard stuff that kept me limited from success in my career, like, I wonder how the other half's living. It must be nice to make money. As if there was something wrong with it. But then I learned in my personal life, not what I was told and taught, that, wow, people with money can be fantastic. Who's generous, and who's charitable, and who's giving for all these other things to take place and happen, and who's spilling into the economy, and plus what's wrong? That doesn't mean I'm a bad person because they got what I'm looking for. But if you think somebody's bad who has something that you are looking for, you think you're going to get it. So you see, I had to change those beliefs by releasing them. So here's an exercise that I used. And when I said it to my folks, when my dad was still alive, he just looked at me and goes, "What's wrong with you?" Because this is woo-woo stuff, right? All right, listen. I would sit with something. I would come up with something that's going on in my life, wondering, all right, what's going on? And then I'd come up with whatever I believed about something. And I'd ask myself, in say a meditation, do I believe that? And I would stop and go, no. No, I believe that without much effort and with just doing the right things in a smart way, let's say income, you can make $50,000 in a week. Yeah. In the day of technology, we're not looking for people to walk in the store and just buy what they can buy. We don't even have to be awake, and we put it out online, and it's 24/7, and we could be out going for a walk or sleeping. So I stopped believing that there was a limit and a ceiling on income, and that you had to work hard to get it. Did I believe you had to go to the doctor in order for them to say, here's what has to happen for you to heal? No. Matter of fact, when I had the wine glass go through my left eye and almost into my brain, and then when I had the paralysis, I had medical care, but I didn't have any prescriptions. I didn't go to doctors for them to say, here's what I have to do, because I've learned better. There are mind practices in the way of epigenetics. And also I worked with my master herbalist, who I've been working with for about 4 years, five years, maybe 5 years, in order to heal properly, to give my body what it really required rather than synthetic pharmaceutical lab materials. So I didn't believe that traditional medicine was going to be my way to heal, because I let go of that belief. So what I told my dad was, when I come up with a belief that I know is not mine, it was given to me and it was something I just accepted, but it doesn't apply. I put it in a gift box. I put a lid on it with a bow. And I said, I push it onto your front doorstep and I say, thank you, but that's not mine and I won't accept it anymore. And I leave. That's when he said, what's wrong with you? But that's the imagery I use. So that's me taking a belief that I've used, that it's not mine, and I give it back. Now, maybe you don't know where the belief came from. Put it in a hot air balloon and just send it up into the sky till it disappears. Put it into a campfire and burn it like it's paper. Do something in your imagery that equals releasing, getting rid of, and letting go of something you no longer believe yourself because of your own experiences and the evidence and proof that you've come up with. and release the beliefs. Beliefs are not facts, but they mold your life. Imagine that one. They're not facts. It's just something someone said once that you accepted. It just sounded right at the time, or you believed the source at the time. Then you find out it's not true whatsoever, but yet it molded your life. It affected your life for decades. Unfortunately, some people learn this stuff too late, and they think, you mean, I believed that my whole life. Uh-huh. Yeah. So start questioning your beliefs. And when you find the belief that you know is not acceptable any longer, that you've proven just isn't true, or even if you doubt it, let it go. Just let it go. Okay? And start with a cleaner slate. So this is why whenever I start working with a new client, everyone wants attraction. Everybody wants, and they've heard of the law of attraction. You know, there are many more universal laws, law of gravity, law of cause and effect, right? So it's understanding more than just one universal law. So the law of attraction is such where in order to get there, which I've been discussing a bit here as far as how to get there, is we need to get traction. You know, you can't start attracting until you have traction. You're making headway, you're moving forward, right? But in order to start creating traction, there must be subtraction. So the subtraction comes in the way of changing the approach that you have, your perceptions, your belief systems, and everything that has come to be the shackle that holds you hostage. Okay. What happens also is what happens energetically within us ends up becoming physical. I had spent years working with thousands and thousands of people for what we call weight loss, fat release. After being on national television on Dateline NBC and helping a pastry chef release 40 pounds, people thought, there's some magic over there. So it got crazy. Now, what I learned was this one most important thing, and this will help any of you who are looking to release weight. Your body matches your energetic self, because who you really are is not the body, okay? Who you really are is what's inside, your thoughts and feelings, the non-physical, which is what spirit means, non-physical. So the non-physical you is who you really are. But the body is this physical thing you got to drive through a physical life. Okay, it's your transport system. In order to experience a physical life, you need a physical body. Okay. So when the energetic self gets healthy, the body's healthy. When the energetic self, you can call it mental and emotional, but this is your energetic self, your thoughts, your feelings, and everything that's going on that releases chemicals from your brain and all your bodily functions. You release your emotional weight, your physical weight will start to go too. So you see, back to what's between your ears, back to everything that really matters that you're not even addressing, and you're so distracted focusing on everything that doesn't matter. You see, the outcome is not what to focus on. It's what causes outcomes. Yeah. If your car wasn't running correctly, you wouldn't do body work, but that's what people do, right? So the idea here is there must be the release of the emotional weight in order for you to move forward, even if it's not about physical release of fat, weight loss, but in order to move forward lighter, fresher, cleaner, brighter, with clarity, with focus, with direction, we need to have subtraction. We need to start subtracting everything that's been piled in there, because that's what's blocking. So it's like this. At birth, you were given everything you needed. Everything. The confidence of a child is sometimes greater than the confidence of an adult male. The child says, I can do that. And people go, no, honey, you'll get killed. No, you'll hurt yourself. I can do that. because you believe you can do anything. That's what life is, trial and error, experiences. So we have experiences in order to have a trial and error process to find out what works, what doesn't, and how to do something. So there is no failure at all. So stop this crazy thing about failure and fear of failure, because if you're not doing something, oh, then you must be fearful all the time because you failed miserably. Failure isn't doing nothing. Failure isn't doing something and it didn't go right. That's learning. That's progress. That's trial and error. So that's another thing we need to subtract. And that's the fragile ego. What are people going to think and say? Ah, you should hear what they're thinking and saying already. Who cares what they think and say? That's going to be released. We subtract that. Everyone's just another knucklehead, remember? So be a smarter knucklehead. And I'm not insulting anybody. I'm just putting us into our proper perspective of we're basically whatever we are, but we have the potential to tap into what is greatness. You know, Master Visionary is all about tapping back into the Master Visionary you were born as. So here you are from the source of greatness. So there's greatness within you. There are skills, there are talents, there are abilities, but they must be found and then nurtured. But if you're told this is what you ought to be, if you're told this is how life goes, if you're told you can't do that and people don't like this, so don't be it, well, maybe you missed out on what you were supposed to do and how brilliant you really are. Maybe you missed out on health, happiness, love, compassion, passion, fulfillment, experiences that are just beyond words, where you can't even describe it because you went somewhere that was so astoundingly beautiful that you say the pictures don't do it justice. Those experiences. To be able to talk about things from experience rather than hearsay. What are you here for? What are you willing to put up with? What are you willing to do to not have to put up with? What are you willing to do now to decide to be open and honest and truthful in order to be aware and to have a little bit of insight as to what can start happening to set yourself free? Because you see, it's one thing to get a key for a lock. So the tools, the techniques, the processes, a lot of times you can read about them. They're out there, they're available, but you don't know how to use them. Or you don't have somebody there who's supporting, guiding, coaching. I mean, come on, the greatest athletes in the world had coaches. Why? Coaches have coaches. Well, good coaches. Why? Because we all need that. We all need that different perception, that direction, maybe a dose of clarity. Maybe just that other way of looking at it, right? And to know that there's somebody there to support and be there for you, to hold you accountable. So all of this is what matters. Are you happy? That's all I ask. Are you happy? I know when I used to wake up, I was miserable. I used to look for a way to call in sick, not to have to go to work. I used to wake up thinking, oh, another one. Because those 20-hour days of being awake were long. 4 hours, 5 hours max sleeping. But it was application. But I didn't have a coach then. I didn't have somebody directing me. I was really grinding it. And I'm really surprised that I lasted. I'm grateful that I lasted until I started finding out the smarter ways, the more effective ways. I started finding out principles and systems and techniques and what's going on in here and how to utilize it and how to work with it in ways that make life almost automatic. You know how you wake up and it's automatically miserable? You got the 90% that has you do the same thing, say the same thing, feel the same thing, and you think, what a shit day this was. Well, what do you think tomorrow's going to be? But imagine when you get up and you're starting to change it, so the 90% decreases and the 10% gains, and before you know it, you start shifting into that almost 90% of Nothing's a big deal. Everything's wonderful. People are just being the way they are. Has nothing to do with me. I have so much potential and opportunity that I look forward to every moment. When you're thinking this way, wow, it's a whole different journey. And that's what I wish for all of you. I've had the experience of grinding, being limited, being embarrassed, feeling less than, inferior, and wishing and hoping it could be that kind of life or that kind of life. I went through the grind. I went through finding how it doesn't happen. And I persevered long enough to find the way to then be able to share with you and everyone else smarter, more effective, more expedient, and even immediate ways to get relief, freedom, and to learn the keys and how to unlock the shackle. Because you could have a key, not how to use it, and you're just sticking it in the metal or trying to break the chain. When if you just put it in gently and turn it gently, you're free. So what's it going to be? Will it be the same old, same old? Will you be contributing to the 90% and reinforcing it to be stronger and stronger and stronger, to be sure that your future will be even more shackled and you'll be held as a hostage continuing into the latter years of your life? I don't know. And you know, the beauty of learning different and effective ways, you get to share them with other people. And even if they don't listen, when they watch you improving, they watch you healing, they watch you becoming abundant in life, they'll be curious and they'll wonder what it was. And you could actually be an inspiration and an influence to other people in a very positive, healthy way. You'll be able to give of yourself with more quality. The difference between when a child asks for something and you snap, what is it? Or if you say, well, what can I do for you, honey? But we have to take responsibility. We have to take responsibility for whatever it is that we have. And the simple way I say it, and it's just how it goes, is own your shit, your reactions, your speech, your way, your personality. Your personality is what's creating your personal reality. When you start changing what's going on in here, which affects your personality, your personal reality changes. It has to. We're talking about quantum physics, the study of energy. We're talking about neuroimmunology. We're talking about, these sciences that gratefully in this day and age with digital technology, we're able to prove. We're able to do brain resonancing and we're able to prove through these digital formats and processes what's really going on. And it's not just theory and we don't know what happens. No, you think a certain thing, we know what parts of the brain fire up, what chemicals are released, how it affects your neural system, and how it affects your life. As you think, so you are. Thoughts become reality, but they're not all conscious. It's at the hard drive level, the subconscious level. So, Master Visionary Coaching, in the program From Stress to Success, to start peeling away the layers, to start removing what you think is something that's supposed to be part of your daily life, which is stress. No. Fight or flight. It's only when you need it to spike your system to either run, hide, or fight for your life. Other than that, stress is not supposed to be part of it all. So that's the other part. More subtraction needed. This is the way we go about it, folks. This is how we take it to another level. So you get to create your own patterns. You get to create new neurology. You get to create new habits in the way you emotionally react, the way you think, the way you physically act. You get to create new motivation to take action, purpose and reason, a stronger why to do the things you're doing, and to create fulfillment, joy, passion, and an explosively expressed life. This is what I really, really wish for you. But don't let it just be a wish as you blow out candles on a cake. Make it a reality. And you make it a reality by taking action. So go ahead over to mastervisionary.com. There's a link on the top of the page, Work with Tom. Click it and click Apply. Fill out your form and let's talk. Or enjoy what's going on. Accept what's going on, because nothing changes without intention. So have an intention that you're not going to end the way it is, that you're going to continue to soar, that in the next chapters in the book of your life, what you're about to do is take the pen from everybody else and you're going to start writing your own chapters. The universe is supporting you. The universe has your back. Things will happen that you won't have to make happen. It's astonishing when it starts to unfold. So this is your choice. And life is made of choices. What choices will you make today to become a better you, and to tap into the master visionary that you were born as? I look forward to hearing from you. And I also look forward to you sharing with other people that every other Tuesday, so 2 weeks from today, the 29th of September, at noon Eastern time, the show will be live. So set it on your calendar, let your friends know about it, and then pop on over and ask me your questions, make comments, and let me know how it's going. Apply what I've shared. Do language. Avoid don't language, and also that means in your thoughts, not just in your outer world, because remember, anything out here is all happening in here first. So manage it all here first in order for it to change out here. And then question your beliefs, okay? It's the subtraction in order to start gaining traction to attract what it is you're looking for. So I am Tom Nicoli, or my name is Tom Nicoli. I am a master visionary. And I'm looking forward to helping you become such and change your life in ways that you can start imagining. So I'll see you in a couple of weeks. And until then, please go out there and make it a great day.
Join us every other Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to remove the blocks that are keeping you from living a healthy, wealthy, and happy life.